All right, I say, okay, what I have right now in my hand is Osiris. Now, some of you are familiar with the name Osiris. That's who this is. But the origin of his name is Osiris. His real name is Osiris. But the Greeks changed his name to Osiris. So whenever you hear about the name Osiris from ancient Egypt, this is this guy right here. All right? He was the husband of Offset, the father of Heru. Now, let's get down to the story of Jesus. Now, like I said, I'm going to break down every deity, all right? But Osiris, you talk about his story, he was killed by his own brother, Set. Now, you know about Cain and Abel, or Cain slaying his brother Abel. Set slayed his brother Osiris. So you know they got another similarity of brother slaying brother from this story here, of Set killing his brother Osiris. Now, Osiris' whole story. Now, Osiris was killed and he went into the underworld and he had overcome death and snatched the keys of death, and he had the scepter in his hand. He was resurrected. The tomb of Osiris was moved to the side. Sounds familiar? Now let's go speeding up to Jesus' time. Jesus' story consists of, he died on the cross. This is the Ankh, by the way. The cross ripped this off. Now, if you take that circle part off, just put that one line up there, it'll be a cross. All right? Jesus' whole story was that he died. And he went into to the bottomless pit of hell, which is hell would be a rip-off from the underworld. You might as well say the underworld. And Jesus snatched the keys of Satan, and Jesus took the sting of death, right? He took the keys of death, and he had the scepter in his hand, and he was resurrected. And the tomb of Jesus was moved to the side by the angels. Jesus was resurrected. Jesus' whole story, resurrection, is based off of Osiris. I hate that I have to keep calling his name Osiris, because I'm used to saying his name Osiris, because Osiris is a Greek name. But for some of you, you may not know who he is, but just for the sake of the argument, we're just going to say Osiris. But remember, his true origin name is Osiris. So, Jesus' whole story of resurrection came from Osiris, this guy. And it goes to say that Osiris had the scepter in his hand. Jesus also has a scepter in his hand. Both story is identical. It's identical. Why Jesus' story is identical to Osiris? Why is it that Osiris' story is the same identical story of Jesus? Osiris was resurrected, right? Jesus was resurrected. Osiris went into the underworld. Jesus, suppose, went to the same place, but it was not the same. He stood to keep into the bottom pit of hell within the earth, which is the underworld, which they call it, and the Christians call it hell, and snatched the keys, the sting of death. Osiris did the same exact thing. And Jesus was resurrected. Osiris was resurrected. And the scepter is also in Jesus' hand. But the scepter was in Osiris' hand. If you read into the coffin text, or you read into the pyramid text, you read into the ancient text, of all the ancient Kemetic gods is there. All they did, they went and they took the story of the resurrection of Osiris and they gave it over to Jesus. This is why I keep trying to tell the Hebrews and you Christians, if you understand who Osiris was and read his story, you will automatically, bam, someone click, why they have the same story. Why is it that Haru started his work at the age of 12 in the temple? Jesus did the same exact thing. So identical. Haru is the son of Osiris. Haru is what some of you will call Horus. So, this, where Jesus, the resurrection of Christ, came from. Osiris, whom the world ignorantly calls Osiris, because Osiris also is a form of the Christian man, God the Father. So with that being said, I say to Osiris, you can see Osiris look good. He look nice, don't he? I say to the God Osiris, and Osiris dwells within the underworld and rules in the underworld on the throne. Yes. So as Anubis, which is Ampu or Anu. So with that being said, I say